How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid. I must say, Lucid has been crushing it. We know there's been a lot of volatility in the markets, but Lucid is like, you know what? Hold my beer. I'm going to continue this run and reward my shareholders. And you know what? We ain't mad at that. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. And what do we want to look forward to going into tomorrow? And if it does decide to pull back, some other key levels to look at. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. Are shorts still heavily vested in this play? Are they increasing their positions? We're going to find out because it does contribute to the overall volatility. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know, are institutions loading up on shares? The reason why we want to know this because it does give us an indication of further spikes, and then on top of that gives us a good idea of market sentiment. And then we're going to be going into the final thoughts and going over some key details, so let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $26.81, being up 11.38%. On the low, it tested $24.57, and then on the high, testing $27.93. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 113.875 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 45.167 million shares. So we had well above the average there, and it's part of the reasons why we see some strength in the overall stock price. When we take a look at our chart, which is a 1-year daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 69.20. So you got that correct. We are in the overbought territory. We've been seeing a lot of momentum here. So when we take a look at our moving averages on the chart, of course, we're above all of them, which is the 21-day EMA, as well as the 200-day, and as well as the 50-day. So one thing to take into consideration here, we were able to use $24.57 as an area of support. We had some strength there, and we saw that strong move when it got to $27.93. So what this clearly tells us, not only is this an area of resistance, but taking into consideration $28, this is a psychological area. And I feel if Lucid is able to actually pass 28, there will be some selling pressure. But if we have this continued volume, then I could easily see a push going to 29. But of course, there will be some profit taking here. But like I said, Lucid has been performing very well, and this momentum continues. No doubt in my mind, we should be able to reach this level. So if we decide to pull back, then I would be looking out for support right here at this 200-day, which is around $22.54. Do keep in mind, we were able to hold down $24.57, like I said previously, so I'm just saying, just in case it wanted to do a large pullback. But as far as for tomorrow's concerned, we just want to see it use the same 24.57 as an area of support, so we can make that strong push and actually get past $28. So let's see what happens going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Lucid. So scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.3 million, updated 14 minutes ago, and the short ball free rate is at 1.66%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 17th, which was last week Friday, it was at 41.67, and then the close for yesterday being at 40.04. So Lucid continues to have short squeeze potential, and one thing that we can see, there was a slight decrease, but it'll be very interesting to see what the numbers will be later on in the evening due to the fact we did see some strong movements in the overall stock today, so that will contribute to the overall volatility. So hey, so let's just be patient and see what those numbers look like. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we can see on the inflow is at 705, and then on the outflow it was 674. On the large, we had 53.85. Keep in mind, this is in the millions. On the medium, we had 438, and then on the small, we had 214. When we take a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 20.19, and on the medium, it was 439, and then on the small, it was 215. So what I can see clearly here on the small, on the retail side, there was a lot of profit taking. There was a lot of selling because we ended up having a surplus in regards to outflows. But we did have a lot of inflows because it was 214. But again, the difference wasn't that big anyways. Now, when we take a look at what was going down on the medium, very similar. It was 438 on the inflow, and then we had 439 on the outflow. But now, when we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, it was a surplus of 33.66 million. So institutions are loading up on Lucid shares. I know many of you are going to be excited to hear that, and this is part of the reasons why we're seeing a lot of strength in the overall stock. Then on top, what I was talking about inside of the technical analysis, we're seeing a good amount of volume as well, and we're seeing a continuation of this. So knowing that institutions are continuing to load up, I'm going to look forward to see this momentum continue. So now let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, I'm looking forward to seeing how well this stock performs for tomorrow. I must say it was great to see the momentum that it has been having, and part of the reasons being is I was telling you guys when we bought into this and I was saying to load up, it was around $16, and here we are today testing highs at $27.93. So what this tells me right away, that $28 level is a psychological area. I feel if we're able to pass 28 with a lot of momentum, things can start looking really, really good. When we went on FinTel, we could see clearly it does continue to have short squeeze potential. There's a lot of shorts who are heavily vested in this play, and this is going to contribute to the price action, because if they have to start covering their positions, then of course we could see this stock move even further. And one of the things I want you guys to pay attention to, if we look at the market conditions, take a look at what's happening right now. A lot of stocks have been pulling back, and Lucid has been doing the opposite. So what this clearly tells you, there is demand for Lucid shares. Clearly we can see this in the order flow because institutions have been loading up. The good thing about it is we were able to load up on a lot of shares before the institutions started taking notice and increasing their positions. So this is how you think ahead and take advantage of what's going down inside of the market. So now I know that question is going to come up, like, Dre, have you been taking any profits? And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I have not taken any profits whatsoever. I've been looking at the trend and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to ride this thing all the way through. Unless we end up having a strong pullback, like I said in the previous video, then I'll think about taking profits. But for now, I'm just going to let this trend continue, and then after I'm going to come up with my decision from there as far as taking profits. But I would really like to see Lucid get to $30 before even considering that. That's just the best case scenario, of course. So for yourself, just make sure you have a strategy that works well for you. And if you have taken profits already, congratulations, you are crushing it in the market while it's not doing that great, and that's something that you should be proud of. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.